Hello everyone. In today's class, we are going to talk about chloroplast. So before going to discuss about the structure and function of chloroplast, let us first see about the plastids. What are they and how many different types of plastids are present? Okay. Plastids are the structures that are found in the plant cells. So these are present only in the plant cells and are absent in animal cells. Apart from the plant cells, they are also found in euglenoids as well. Okay, these are the structures which are present in the plant cells and in euglenoids, and they are absent in the animal cells. They are easily observed, like they are very large, as enough to be observed under the microscope, and they contain subpigments, and because of those pigments these plastids are divided into three types: leucoplast, chromoplast and chloroplast. Leucoplast are the colorless plastids. We can say these are the colorless plastids, and they may be in different shapes and sizes depending on the species. Leucoplast may vary in their size and shapes, and they store nutrients. That means their main function is the storage. Okay, if the storage is the starch, then those type of leucoplasts are called as amyloplasts. And if the storage is fat, that means if the leucoplasts are storing fats, then they are called as elioplast, right? And if they are storing the proteins, then they are called as aleuroplasts. They are called as aleuroplast. Here aleuro means protein, right? Next coming to is the chromoplast. The chromoplast are the cells which contains the colored pigments. Okay, which contains the colored pigments, or they can store the fat soluble carotenoids pigments. Contains the fat soluble pigments, like case of carotenoids, xanthophylls, like the pigments. These xanthophylls are responsible for orangish yellow pigment. Okay, and also lycopene is nothing but the derivative of carotenoids only. So chromoplast can store the color. Okay, and they are especially responsible for containing the fat soluble pigments like carotenoids, lycopene, xanthophyll. The next one is the chloroplast. Okay, the chloroplast contains chlorophyll, also carotenoid pigments which are responsible for trapping the light energy, which is essential for photosynthesis. So the chloroplasts are the main cells which are responsible for carrying out the photosynthetic reactions in the plants, and these chloroplasts can change to chromoplast. These chloroplasts can change to chromoplast, means can convert into chromoplast. Now let us see in detail about the chloroplast, what's the structure and their function. Okay, as I told that these chloroplasts are the cells that contain the chlorophyll pigments. That means the cell organelles which contain the chlorophyll pigments are called as chloroplast. The cell organelles which contain the chlorophyll pigments are called as chloroplast, and these are the double membrane structure. That means here you can see 1 and 2. Let us see the structure. Okay, both the membranes here, it is a double membrane, structure. Both membranes are very smooth. Now these majority of these chloroplasts are found in the green plants, right? They are found in the green plants because of the presence of the chlorophyll pigments. They are found in the green plants, and that too in the mesophyll cells of the leaves. Right, now they can be of different shapes. They can be of oval, or they can be of spherical or discoid or ribbon like cells, that we will discuss in the functions. As I told that these chloroplasts are the double membrane bound, and this is the outer membrane. The outer membrane has large number of porins. The outer membrane has large number of porins, right? Porins are nothing but the cavities that contains the proteins, or we can say the large uh, pores, right? And because of the presence of these porins, these are more permeable. The outer membrane is more permeable. And next to the outer membrane here is the inner membrane. Porins are absent in case of inner membrane, and hence this can be said that they are less permeable than compared to the outer membrane. These are less permeable than compared to the outer membrane, but they are rich in proteins, and hence it is also very active. Because of the presence of proteins, they are very, inner membrane is very active. Now in between the two membranes, the outer membrane and the inner membrane, we can find intermembrane space. In between the two membrane, there is a space between the two membranes, orange colored here. This is called as intermembrane space. The space inside the inner membrane is called as stroma. The space inside the inner membrane is called as stroma, which is fluid filled, or it is present inside the inner membrane. Now this stroma is responsible for the dark reactions of photosynthesis, or we can say the stroma is the site of dark reactions, right? Where all the enzymatic reactions takes place for the dark reactions. Now apart from this, now you can see here flattened sac-like structures are arranged one above the other. These are called as thylakoids. Now these thylakoids are responsible for the light reactions. So hence they are called as site for light reactions of photosynthesis. The site for light reactions of photosynthesis. Right. Now these are the one sac-like structure we are calling it thylakoids. Now one above the other, when they are piled up together like piles of coins, now they are called as grana. Like here, these together, they are called as grana or granum. If one stack is present, then they are called as granum, which we are calling for singular. Okay, and in plural form we call it as grana, that is plural form. If all the stack like structures here, these are called grana. One stack with or all the thylakoids piling up together, we call it as granum. Okay, now inside these thylakoid there is a space enclosed there. Now this space, in each and every thylakoid you can find the space. Now that space we are calling it as lumen. Now altogether, the thylakoids, granum or the lumen, all are responsible for the light reactions of photosynthesis. As I told that stroma is a site of dark reactions of photosynthesis, right? Now this stroma also contains the enzymes that are required for the synthesis of carbohydrates and proteins. Now apart from this, it also contains the small circular DNA. Here you can see the stroma also contains small double-stranded circular DNA. So you write here double-stranded circular DNA, which is rich in guanine and cytosine. Okay, which is rich in guanine and cytosine. Now guanine and cytosine are the nitrogenous bases that are found in the DNA, right? DNA, guanine and cytosine are the nitrogenous bases that are found in the DNA. DNA has four nitrogenous bases: adenine, thymine, guanine and cytosine. Now here in case of chloroplast, this double-stranded circular DNA are rich in guanine and cytosine. Right. Apart from the DNA, the stroma also contains the ribosomes. Now the ribosomes of these stroma, here you can see the dots which I have shown here. They are the ribosomes. Right. Now 70S ribosomes are found in case of chloroplast, which are smaller, and these 70S ribosomes we have already discussed in prokaryotic cells also, right? Here the ribosomes of the chloroplast are smaller than compared to the cytoplasmic ribosomes, which are nothing but they are 80S ribosomes. Right. Apart from all these, the thylakoids, which are arranged like sac-like structure, they are directly in contact with the stroma. Like here you can see the last thylakoid part. Okay, last thylakoids, thylakoid, which is directly in touch or which just contact with the stroma, this region we are calling this here one thylakoid, which is outer or upper here also. This region we are calling it as unappressed region. And the thylakoid, which is stacked up or piled up in between, like here you see, which are not in contact with the stroma, this region we are calling it as, here also in all the stacks you can see these in between, the thylakoids which are in between this here and also this part, this here, these regions are called as appressed region. So there are two regions here when the thylakoids are present. One is the unappressed region, which is just in contact with the stroma, and the part which is not in contact with the stroma, the thylakoids, we are calling it as appressed region, right? And one more here, the grana are together. Each grana is interlinked by a bridge-like structure called as stroma lamellae. Right? Now this was about the structure. Now let us move on to the functions of chloroplast. Okay, now let us see what are the main functions of chloroplast. Like they are the first in the important function is they are the site. It is the site of photosynthesis, right? As we have shown in the structure that the light reactions of photosynthesis occur in the thylakoids, right? And dark reactions, they can be seen in case of stroma. Okay, they are the main site of photosynthesis, and hence the photosynthesis reactions, their main function is to produce food. So they store the starch, or we can say these are the factory of synthesis of sugars. Okay, next the important one more function is they also carry out the photolysis of water. Now here photolysis, photo means the light and lysis means the breakdown. That's nothing but we can say that breakdown of water in the presence of light. And what is happening here when the breakdown of water is happening? It is the breakdown of water in the presence of light to release oxygen. Right here, I'll show you the reaction, how the water is breaking down. One molecule of water will break down to produce 2 protons and 2 electrons, and here half oxygen. So when one water molecule is breaking down and giving only half oxygen, so total oxygen if we require, then we need 2 water molecules to break down so that we can get one complete oxygen molecule to be released. That is during the photolysis. So when we are taking 2 molecules of water, then 4 protons will be released and also 4 electrons, right? 4 electrons plus total 1 complete oxygen will be released out, right? The main important function here is photolysis, and hence the photolysis is nothing but the breakdown of water in the presence of light. Lysis means breakdown and photo is nothing light. Next important function is the chloroplast may differ in their number, or we can say vary in their number depending on the species. Like here Chlamydomonas, they contain only one chloroplast. Whereas in case of mesophyll cells that are present in the leaves, they contain nearly 30 to 40 chloroplast. So their number may also vary, and their number as well as their shape may also vary. Their different species contain different shapes, right? Just now I have shown the structure which is having oval shape, right? Here we can see different shapes. Like in Chlamydomonas, as I told, only one chloroplast is present, so you can find a cup shape chloroplast. In Spirogyra, spiral shape, like spiral shape chloroplast you can see. Okay. So in case of chlorella, you can find spherical, right? Or you can find like round or spherical shape in case of chlorella. In case of angiosperms, just now I have shown the structure where we can see the oval or biconvex shape of chloroplast. Whereas in case of species like Zygonema, you can find star or stellate shape, like this star or stellate shape. We can say star shape or stellate shape of chloroplast we can find in case of Zygonema. That means the chloroplast will have different shapes depending on the species, right? I hope this is clear. Thank you.